She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. Hey, it's Family First Friday. This is that day of the week when we really put a focus on our families. And today we want to talk about being an overwhelmed mom. You know, the big equation of success, so often being a mom is left out of that equation, especially according to our society. According to society, you know, being a mom has nothing to do with successful. I'm here to tell you that's a flippin' lie, huge lie. There couldn't be something further from the truth. We live in a society today that has completely degraded women, devalued women in the home especially. I'm a mother. I have 5 children, all grown now, with 8 grandchildren of whom I love, that I miss when I'm not by them, and my children that I miss when I'm not like right nestled up against them. And I remember raising kids and feeling like overwhelmed, even depression throughout several years in my role as a mother. And that had to do with a lot of different things, different choices that I had personally made. And so I want to challenge you today, because Friday being the day that we're heading into our weekend, right? We're heading into the time where most of us are going to spend quite a bit of time with our kids. And sometimes that could be a good thing. Sometimes that could be not so good thing. And with this, you know, right around the corner, we've got a big day coming, Mother's Day. For some people, it's a very depressing day. For other people, it is a wonderfully blessed day. For some people, it's just a day with high expectations that never seem to be met. So if you are that mom and you are feeling overwhelmed, today's entire program is for you. We want to bring solutions to that. As a mother myself, who homeschooled for about 13 years throughout our kids' lives, every one of our kids actually graduated as a homeschool student. They all graduated at least a year in advance. They didn't homeschool their entire lives, but we had like 2, sometimes 3 at a time that were being homeschooled. On top of building a business, on top of building actually several businesses at the same time. And so is it possible to be a mom? Is it possible to get through the doldrums of motherhood and being overwhelmed and feeling like you're sucking eggs, man, feeling like it's never going to end? I just feel really compelled to bring some encouragement to you today and be able to find solutions, simple little things that I changed along the way that I wrote about in a book that's being taught in universities all over the world called Grooming the Next Generation for Success. So my phone number here in the studio right this minute is 830-315-1557. Again, that's 830-315-1557. Check this statistic out that my coworker found. It's according to the Center for Disease Control. Again, listen to that. The Center for Disease Control, 1 in 10 women experience symptoms of depression. The likelihood of becoming depressed increased when a woman has a child, and even more prevalent among stay-at-home moms. Is that how it should be? Should stay-at-home moms deal with depression more than the ones who are working outside of the home? If so, we got to find out why. Why? I think so much has to do with our current society and the view that it has on stay-at-home moms, that somehow that she's less important, that she has less of an important role than a woman who is working outside of the home. We're going over to Hillary from Virginia. Hillary, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So what about you? Are you overwhelmed as a mom or what?
Yes, ma'am. Very much so.
Tell me why. What is overwhelming? And how many kids do you have?
I have 2 girls.
Mm-hmm. How old?
I also run, my oldest is going to be 8 actually next month, and my youngest just turned 5.
Okay. And are you full-time in the home?
Yes, ma'am. Full-time in the home.
Okay. So what's overwhelming you?
Well, I have run 2 small businesses here in the home on top of, just being a mom.
Yeah.
And my husband, he's full-time worker.
Mm-hmm.
So after being home all day long, with the children, which this year was actually the first year I didn't have any children, so it got easier. But before it was just like I didn't feel much worse. When he come home, it was never, how was your day? He would just walk outside, and I was just stuck inside dealing with everything else that happened. So I didn't feel like I had much work in the home.
Right. So when you say that last year you didn't have kids, meaning the kids were at school?
Yes. My youngest just started school this year. So,
okay. So no one's at home during the
easier.
day. No one's at home during the day, at least till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you doing with your time throughout the day?
I actually take care of an elderly lady down the road. I help give her baths 3 days a week.
Wow.
I'm a backup for my mother. She takes care of 2 people with intellectual disabilities in her home. So
wow.
Also I'm a fill-in for her as well.
Mm-hmm. So you're spending time volunteering?
Yes, ma'am. And
okay.
then I'm a breeder, so I raise dogs. So I have that at home as well.
Okay. So that's another little size income-producing business that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're saying that what's overwhelming about being a mom for you is not the work of a mom, but it's the lack of appreciation that you feel from your husband.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you feel like you're not appreciated by him?
A lot of things we've got into, which is, of course, when it comes up as money and things that I like to do, he's just not very supportive. And like as if I don't work, I don't have a listed job of employment. So what I want or need doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. How have you communicated these things to him, or did you just stay away from these conversations?
I stay away. And that's when I had my first weekend at First Steps to Success, and it really made me take a look at, we don't have very good communication. I've actually slept with my youngest daughter in her bunk bed for the last 6 months of our marriage. So.
Wow. Okay, so this has nothing to do with being a mom. It has to do with a wife. You're a wife who is not feeling encouraged or loved or feeling like you can have a conversation with your husband about dreams and goals that you have.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting that we tend to blame the kids and blame being a mom?
And that's true. And that's where I take it out on the kids. There's a lot of yelling and frustration, and I don't have very good patience, and it all leads back to that.
Yeah. So it really is the issue between your husband and you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's some things to look at. It's a very important thing to look at is to evaluate yourself and to realize, okay, what can I do to improve my communication with my husband? And how can I communicate better to where we can get on the same page versus just shying away and not having the conversation and feeling more and more isolated? Really important question to ask. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after you check this out. Financing a home can be a nightmare if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Ask me. I know this. That's why the first thing you have to do is find a mortgage company you can trust that has your back through the entire process. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading your current one, or looking for an investment property, Rick Fujisaki at Wintrust Mortgage wants to win your trust. Rick understands the mortgage industry, and he can take all the stress out of financing a home for you. His easy-to-use worksheets will help you calculate the mortgage you can afford. And he has a unique tool designed to help you find and set aside money for your down payment. And when you work with Rick, who, by the way, I love, a portion goes to caring for the poor through King's Ransom Foundation. So visit loanmortgageguys.com and start building your dream today. Again, contact Rick at loanmortgageguys.com.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Bottom line, sister, if you're a mom and you're feeling like Hillary, that she says she's overwhelmed as a mom, but when we really get down to it, it has nothing to do with being a mom at all. It has everything to do with feeling unappreciated as a wife. we have to really look at what the real issue is and what the real problem is so we don't create other problems. And even as she confessed, and I have to tell you, I confess the same thing. There were times where Hans and I just, whenever we didn't get along, I was really short with my kids, which was so wrong, to be impatient with my kids who were not the source of the problem. But I was the source of the problem in my marriage and in my unspoken needs that I had, that I somehow wanted Hans to read my mind, and I wanted him somehow to know what was inside of my heart. And I wanted to be able to I don't know, like somehow bridge the gap of how I was communicating. What I found is that the more that I isolated myself away from communicating how I felt, the more, explosive my mouth and my accusations would become towards him. And I found myself just unhappy and even depressed. And so here's what's so important, that if you and your husband are in that place where you're not communicating, please deal with that. Don't take that out on your kids or blame your kids for your lack of intimacy that is happening with you and your husband. Don't take your impatience and your anger and your frustration out on them, or even discount your role as a mother, because it's such an important role. But instead, now do what you can to learn how to communicate better with your husband. Learn how to own your own feelings, how to forgive, how not to have resentment, how to be able to move your life forward. Those things are much more important. We're talking about moms who are overwhelmed, dealing with stress. And I have to tell you, coming up here, you're going to find it on our website. We're going to be doing a Mother's Day webinar leading into Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is a day to celebrate moms. And yet we live in a society where moms are degraded and devalued, not just in the home. I'm talking about our society that has really devalued the role as a mother, being the most important, most influential role on the earth, training up and grooming the next generation for success. And yet we have been hearing for a long time how little that job is as a mom, or how it's not that important, and that real special and important women work outside of the home. All a big agenda, I will tell you, a big, huge agenda that's been on the planet for more than 50 years, and it's disgusting, and we've seen the results of it as a direct result of that little propaganda piece that left back in the 50s, late 50s. We're going over to Melissa from Ohio. Melissa, you say that you have 3 girls. Are you overwhelmed as a mom?
I am.
Tell me why.
Absolutely.
Tell me why.
Because you always want to feel like you're going to do the right thing, but you don't necessarily know what the right thing is by your kids.
Yeah. Yep.
And you want them to, follow the right path and do good things. And so I guess I'm at the point where 2 of them are going to be teenagers soon, and I don't know how to make sure that they're going to follow the right path. And right. I don't know that I can really. So.
Okay, here's a question for you. What kind of a teenager were you?
What's funny is I actually was a good teenager. Shockingly, I wasn't one of those who went and did a bunch of bad things. I was kind of naive when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But I know kids aren't that way now, and my sister wasn't, and so yeah.
Did you just say that there are no kids that pick a good path during their teen years?
Oh no, that's not what I mean.
No, but that's what you said.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's not what I meant.
But hold on, is it what you believe? I think you had a little slip up there.
Gosh, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're afraid. Are you afraid your kids are going to choose bad paths?
Yeah, I am afraid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens when you're afraid?
It comes to be.
Yeah.
Is it what you believe happens?
Yeah. Because what you're afraid of is what you create. And then you start talking to your kids as though they're going to make really bad choices that they're going to pay for. And then because you believe they're going to make really bad choices, then you subconsciously try to control and manipulate them. which because of the fear comes the control and the manipulation. So then guess what they do? They rebel against the fear, the control, and the manipulation because they can feel the underlying assumption that they're going to make bad choices. And they can also feel, sense, discern, because 93% of all communication is nonverbal. So they can feel your anxiety. And so therefore they can also kind of sense the accusations that are coming towards them. That's
an excellent point.
So you might be.
How do you flip it around?
Yeah, you say, I'm sorry.
Think it's different?
You say, I'm sorry. That's what you say. You say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I, as a mom, you tell them the truth. This is what I tell my kids. This is my first go around.
Right. Right.
This is my first shot, man. And I'm pretty sure I'm screwing a lot of things up, but I want you to know my heart is for you to win. My heart is for your success. My heart is for your happiness. My heart is for your safety. And sometimes as a mom with all of this first time go around, and I got some insecurities and I'm fearful of some really dumb things, but let me tell you what an awesome kid you are. And I think that you're smarter than most. And I think that you have the ability to make wise choices. And I think you've been equipped your entire life to make wise choices. And I'm pretty sure you can see the writing on the wall on the kids who don't make the greatest of choices and what the consequences are. And I'm pretty sure you can see the writing on the wall of the kids that make some good choices and they have a different life because of it. Right. So what I would do, Melissa, is I would own it. Own your fears before your kids and confess how you feel. And also confess the truth that they have worked hard and you have worked hard to set themselves up for success. And that they've had a lifetime of seeing consequences for actions that are not the best. So some people like to suffer through high school. Other people suffer later in life. So whichever way you choose to go, just know this. I, as your mother, am going to love you through every single one of your choices. And no matter what you do, I'm still going to be here to love you. I might be sad if you choose a road that's going to be hurtful for you. But no matter what, right. I'm going to love you. That's the best message you can give your kids. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after you see this. Have you ever wondered if your investments are making enough money for retirement? What if you could buy an investment rental property for as little as $35,000 that rents for at least $550 a month? After Aaron and Drew Hudson asked themselves this question, Hudson Real Estate Investments was formed, and now 200 transactions have been conducted. Their system helps individuals buy and hold real estate. Their definition of a great buy and hold is a property that pays you a monthly positive cash flow from day one. Hudson Real Estate Investments has a team who find properties available for immediate purchase, vet tenants, and have qualified property management in place. So if you're looking to have freedom and live your life on your own terms, grab your phone and text the word future to 484848. Get started today. Text the word future to 484848. Secure your future now.
Prior to getting to Dani Johnson's First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely broke. We just filed bankruptcy. We lost our home to foreclosure and we were on food stamps. After the second day of her event, we figured out where all our money was going. We got ourselves out of debt in 3 months. We paid off $18,000 worth of debt and are completely debt-free. And now we've finally created a life of our dreams. We've made a 6-figure business and we're just doing everything that we want. So if you're thinking about coming to First Steps to Success, you've got to make it happen. Sign up right now and make sure you don't miss it.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was hopelessly lost in addiction. My relationships with people, coworkers, family, friends failed. I was struggling under the bondage of debt, and I had no clear vision or purpose for my life. After taking my first steps to success, I've been able to pay off $7,000 in debt in about 4.5 months. I have a clear vision and purpose for my life. I can honestly say that my addictions are a thing of the past. If you're interested in changing your life in whatever way, in whatever area, you need to log into DaniJohnson.com and you need to be at the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to coming to First Steps, I was miserable. I never talked to people because I thought I was shy, I thought I was boring, and I thought that I was destined to be alone forever. After coming to First Steps to Success, I broke through all of those lies. I built confidence, and I used the skills that I've learned there to get myself an amazing job where I will be put quickly into a position of leadership. So if you're ready to find out who you are, why you are the way you are, and how to get new skills to dramatically change your life, you need to join me at the very next First Steps to Success. No excuses, no delays, get registered now.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Massachusetts, and before plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was buried under a sea of self-doubt, fear, and my communication skills were non-existent. Sales non-existent as well. But after attending First Steps to Success, my sales have quadrupled, my fear has been lifted, and my relationships are better than ever because I communicate better than ever. If you want your life to turn around, all your dreams start coming to fruition, you are going to be at First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging in to Dani Johnson, my husband and I were drowning in a sea of debt. I had broken relationships all around me of the ones that I cared most about, and I had started a company that was losing more money than it was making. And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me. So I don't know about you. Maybe you're making all the money you need to. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe your relationships are phenomenal. But if they're not, I encourage you to get to the next First Steps to Success.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
You afraid they're not going to turn out good? Then talk about it. Don't put your fears on your kids, but instead tell them that you have insecurities and that sometimes you feel like you haven't done a good job. Tell the truth. Quit trying to fake it as though you've got it all together. Be transparent. Be authentic. They will respect you for it. We're talking about overwhelmed moms today and things that we can do to help solve being overwhelmed or being fearful, being anxious about what the future looks like. We're talking to Bernadette from Canada. Bernadette, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Are you overwhelmed as a mom?
Well, actually, Dani, I have been, absolutely, but this call is more about just thanking you for your teachings and your show. I weep tears of joy because of your show.
You're making me cry. Stop.
I have prayed to be able to thank you personally. No, I understand deep depression, and I understand the deep anxiety and how that can play a role in confusion as a mom. But any words of encouragement, I just dug into your First Steps to Success and your spiritual equipping. Your show has been a staple in my home. I block out my Saturday nights for every spiritual equipping that you do, or First Steps to Success, wherever you go. And because of that, I've become a much better mom. My son, when he's having a tough time, he opens to me. And he had a weight problem, and it was just beyond me. Like sometimes as parents, we all want to help our kids, and we don't know how. And I just started praying over him, and I said, and I learned this from you, God, it is in your hands, and I cast a vision for my son, and he didn't even know. And he's lost 56 pounds now.
Wow.
And so, Dani, I just thank you. In my career as, I didn't have these big money testimonials. I make a humble wage right now, but man, I'm doing things because you're teaching that no one in my community has ever done before.
Wow.
I'm a leader in my community in ways no one's done it.
Wow.
So I just give you the biggest hug and the biggest, sincerest thank you for teaching me all these equipping tools.
Wow, Bernadette, that is a huge win, and that is great success. And you clearly have heard the message of defining success for you and living it out. And I'm so proud of you for following directions. And thanks for your encouragement about what the show has meant to you. We had no idea that you were going to come on and say any of this. Thank you so much. And I feel your hug all the way down here in Texas from Canada, like big time. And I'm so happy to hear that you, that you're working through it and making a difference, and look at the difference that you've made in your son, which is amazing. We're going over to Bethany from Ohio. Ohio's in the house today. Bethany, what about you? Have you been an overwhelmed mom?
I have, but I am calling in to tell the moms to be consistent, be their friends, and enjoy the moment, because it goes by so fast.
Yes.
And then you're raising the future. So don't make it easy for them.
Yeah.
And both of my kids had a birth defect, and life wasn't easy. So they've had multiple surgeries. They've turned out amazing. So consistency always pays off.
Yes.
And we can be their friends when they're 30. And my son has been to First Steps, and they get tired of listening to Dani. They're like, oh, Dani Johnson again. I have to be honest. Like, you play here on a daily basis in the car. I can't tell you thank you enough.
Okay, so this is not what I was expecting today with you all calling in. That's amazing. And man, I can't imagine suffering through surgeries with your babies. That's like, we had a daughter at 16 had a double aneurysm and had to fight for her life. So there's like no suffering like watching your kids suffer. But I do know, as a mom of 5 and a grandmother of 8, sometimes we can feel just so defeated and depleted. And I'm just so really grateful for you, Bethany and Bernadette, both, for calling in to send encouragement this way as you've felt encouraged from our show and through our training materials. So I agree. The time is short. The time is so short that we have with our kids. And we can spend all that time feeling depleted and defeated. Or we can put a focus on learning how to become better moms, how to become better trainers up of the next generation, and leading them to a greater level of success than what we started with. I obviously felt like a total failure starting off as a mother based on the training that I had growing up on welfare with a violently abusive household and drug-infested household and being molested from the time I was 3 till I was 16. And so I didn't start from a good footing as far as being a mother, and I battled with the fear of failure and my kids hating me. And I'm so happy to say that all 5 live within minutes of us today. We're all incredibly close family. I feel so blessed. Our kids love each other. And they know how to work through conflict and challenges with each other. I just want to tell you, if you're a mom, it's worth it. It's worth it to learn. It's worth it to give it your best shot. And it's worth it to be honest about how you feel and your own personal failures in front of your kids, as well as the failures of your past. We're going to be doing a webinar. It's taking place here this week. So May the 4th, the webinar date is going to be May 7th. So it's Monday, May 7th, and it starts at 7 p.m. If you go to DaniJohnson.com, click on the events tab, you'll see in the drop-down bar, it'll say a Mother's Day, a mom's webinar, something about that. I'm sorry, I don't have the title in front of me. But the drop-down bar, you'll see there's a webinar for moms that's taking place, and we want to encourage you on Monday night the 7th. We want to maybe give you a couple of tips on how you can go from fearful and overwhelmed to like really understanding your role and the purpose of it and how to win as a mom and to not be so beat up all the time. Just a couple little strategies that we want to help you with. And if you want to get started immediately, there's a book called Grooming the Next Generation for Success on our website, plus tons of articles that you can benefit from. So thanks so much for joining us today. Please share today's show with other people and have an awesome rest of the day. Bye-bye. Do you have a closet full of clothes yet say, I have nothing to wear? Are you a mom doing her best but desperately lacking me time? Or maybe your schedule has you dressing practically instead of powerfully. What if I told you there's a system, a blueprint that can save you time, money, and turn every head in the room, as well as impact the world through fashion? Friend, you're in the fashion business whether you like it or not. You're an ambassador representing your faith, your marriage, family, and business. Style is just a skill made easy with 123 Style Me. 10 steps to style success that will expand your leadership, save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. This program will bring you peace of mind, reignite your marriage, make you more productive, respected, and instantly boost your confidence, equipping you to be bold and beautiful. Go to courses.lindapage.com. Again, that is courses.lindapage.com and make a priceless investment in yourself. Are you confident that you're always getting a good deal? Have you been equipped with the negotiation confidence, strategies, tactics, and supporting tools you need to close world-class deals? Finally, JPA is making the exact same specialized negotiation training and secrets used by the world's largest, most successful corporations available to everyone. Proven in more than 60 countries and used by brands like Adidas, Vodafone, Pfizer, Nokia, and others, the JPA negotiation method will set you up to save money and time while significantly increasing your profits. It doesn't matter if you're buying or selling real estate, closing contracts with suppliers, or selling products and services to individuals or organizations. Using their simple step-by-step negotiation preparation checklist, you'll be ready to confidently slug it out toe-to-toe with the toughest professional negotiators. It's time for you to stop leaving money and opportunity on the table. Go to bizneg.com/events to register now. Again, that's BIZNEG.com/events. Get registered today.